What's going on, friends and family? You know what? Matter of fact, let me rephrase that. I'm just gonna say family because with me, I love my family as friends, and I love my friends like their family. I mean, it's really no difference to me if I don't have like a family type relationship with my friends, then they're not really friends. You know what I'm saying? There's friends. Like I said, man, there's really no difference with me. Most of my friends that are not blood related, I love them as though they were family. So I just put everybody in one category. So I just say family. Whether you blood related to me or not, your family. Especially if you're close friends. So I'm just gonna say family. The reason why I make these videos is because even though I text message some of you guys on the phone, these videos, most of the time I'm posting them on Facebook. And sometimes I feel as though some of the things that I have to say are so lengthy, but like it delves so deep into how I feel. I can't really write that. So I have to like verbally tell you how I feel. This video here, man, is just talking about the whole single and married thing. I'm going to be honest with you, man. I'm kind of really tired of the whole subject, because it's just tiring. Because just the ins and outs of being single and contemplating marriage and then people's marriages and the ups and downs, it can be very exhausting to deal with other human beings in that arena of relationships. I mean, it's something everybody desires, but it's something that a lot of people don't get right. And I mean, it's just a lot about it. But one of the biggest things that I have a problem with, and I'm making this video in the sense of really trying to reassure people who may feel this way, like just like loneliness from not having a companion. I recognize how people feel, and I have to validate their feelings as being real and real to them. But it's very hard for me to really feel as though you can really sit there and really feel like your happiness is contingent upon whether you in a relationship or you have a companion or not. I mean, because me personally, I've been in a room full of people and felt lonely. Loneliness isn't always about, snuggling next to somebody or affection or kisses or the opposite sex texting you and different things like that, or being intimate with somebody. I mean, loneliness, man, can come on so many different levels. And I felt loneliness on so many different levels. I mean, just when you're happy about something and you're trying to convey that idea to someone and they just don't get it, you can feel lonely. Or you want to help somebody out in a certain way, but you don't have the resources to do it. And the people that have the resources to do it won't help you. I felt lonely in that way. So to me, loneliness I feel is a state of mind. Loneliness can be real, but loneliness can be a state of mind. It could be the way that you view things, the way that you look at things. But it was something that I said on Facebook today. I said that people, they fear being alone than, relying on somebody to make them happy. And what I mean by that is that you got people who fear being alone more than their happiness being contingent upon somebody else. I mean, I fear that. I fear like, okay, you mean to tell me that I will never achieve happiness, or I feel that I will never achieve contentment and happiness unless I have somebody? That's what I fear. You know what I'm saying? I fear that, okay, here I can have somebody and still not be happy. You understand what I'm saying? That's the biggest fear. Throughout all this and putting this effort and doing this and doing that, I have somebody and still am lonely. That causes me to be more cautious than, hey, you know what? I might die without ever having been married. I might die without ever having a lasting relationship. I don't really fear that. I don't fear dying or leaving this earth not having somebody. But what I do fear is, okay, you get married and you're with this person for so many years and never have felt like that person was your friend. You feel alone. You feel by yourself. That is what frightens me. You know what I'm saying? And so I say that happiness, man, is an internal thing. I mean, like me, if I had a choice between choosing a mate who had a very full life, I mean, you know, they have friends. Their friends make them happy. And in turn, that person makes their friends happy and their friends make them happy. And then they make their family members happy. They have a full life, right? Versus this person don't do anything. They just sit around waiting for somebody. And I'm like, okay, so my thing is this. If I do marry you, what do you have to offer? See, because the person that has a full life, that's single, they're happy, they're traveling, they have a good relationship with their family. I feel like if I marry this person, I'm going to get the same thing. Okay, hey man, put me on to some of your friends that made you happy with your set of friends. My set of friends and your set of friends can hook up. Hey man, we going to have a good time. Or, hey man, let's take me to some of the places that you've been. Let's do that as a couple. Let's do that together. Or let me meet some of the family members in your life that made you happy. They probably make me happy too. Rather than somebody who they don't do anything. Their main goal is, okay, I want to have somebody and that's it. Like, what do you have to offer? You know, and that's my thing. You know, being happy is a personal thing. You know, and it's not based upon another person. I mean, I look at like being single and being in a relationship like this. There's an expression, you damned if you do and you damned if you don't. You know what I mean? And when I think about relationships, as far as when you're in a relationship and when you're not, I think about a person that's unemployed and a person that's employed. Like, when you're unemployed, all you could think about is the fact that I don't have nowhere to go. I'm at the house all the time. I'm not employed. I don't have meaningful employment or gainful employment. You know, I'm not doing anything with my life. I need a job. You know, there's expenses that I have, or there's things I want to buy and do. And so you're upset because you don't have a job. Then I've seen situations where a person will obtain a job, and now that they have a job, they're still not happy. Okay, well, now that I have a job, you know, at first when they didn't have a job, they woke up every day with nowhere to go, and then they get a job, and now they're tired of going to the same place every day. I'm tired of getting up doing the same monotonous thing every day. I'm tired of the pay. The pay is not enough for me to do what I want, and I'm not being treated right, you know, at my job. But in both situations, even though both situations made that person, you know, sad or upset, or there were things that they didn't like in both situations, whether they, like when the person was unemployed, you still could have found happiness. It's still, you know, you didn't have to be depressed or, you know, overly sad because you weren't, you know, you weren't employed. There's still some happiness, you know, that you could find in the situation that you're in. Even the person that got the job, it's not what you think it is, or it's not what you thought it would be, but you could be appreciative that you have something until something better comes on. So that's how I feel about, relationships. People that are single, they hollering about being lonely and what they don't have. And then you have people that are in relationships. They feel like they not being treated right. They feel like it's not all it's cracked up to be. Sometimes they feel like they're tired of the same person and going through the same thing. So I just feel like whether you're single or in a relationship, happiness is contingent upon you, especially, if you're single, man. You know what I mean? And a lot of times, man, society makes being single like the worst thing in the world. You don't have nobody. You're lonely. You're weird. It's like, it is what it is, man. It is what it is. I just don't want people to be sad about their status as being single. And I'm going to be honest with you, man. I wasn't thinking about single or married or none of that when I was out in the world. When I was out in the world, when I wanted to do what I wanted to do, it was like, I'm chilling. I'm going out with my dudes. I'm writing music. I'm doing whatever. And then when I feel lonely, I would just go holler at a girl or pick up the phone and talk. And that was it. But it's funny because now, I deal with the subject more as a Christian now. All the millions of things that a Christian can be occupied with. It's a million things, regarding Christ and the ministry and people and his will and what he has us to do. I've never faced or contemplated marriage versus singleness ever, as much as it is in, Jehovah's organization, because mainly it's because it's made up of family. So you kind of run into that subject a lot. And that's the way that it is. But I don't know, man. I just don't want people to, or my friends for the most part, to feel slighted because they don't have anybody. And then I think that really that's an exaggeration. To say I don't have anybody, that's not true. You know what I'm saying? Because when you say you might not have a companion, you might not have a marriage mate, but I've heard like single people say, I don't have anybody. Or people say to a single person, you have nobody in your life. Like, yo, that's a slap in the face to all your friends and all your family who were there when you were born single. You know what I mean? Unless you were a twin, you were born single. It wasn't nobody born with you. And your family was with you and you had your little friends or whatever the case. But I mean, I just feel like with me, yeah, I feel lonely at times, but then, but then it goes away. And then it depends on who I'm around. Like sometimes it's the power of suggestion. Like if you're walking through the mall and you see an attractive girl with a guy and you see them together, then a thought crosses your head. But I'm not one of those people who are constantly stewing in one of those things in that situation. And like I say, man, just being happy with yourself, man, is very important. And I say that because I've seen a lot of it affects females different. And the reason why I don't like for females to feel like that, or women have a certain amount of vulnerability that men don't have. I'm not saying that women aren't strong and they can't defend themselves, but there are times that women have left themselves susceptible to certain situations simply because they wanted to get rid of the feeling of being lonely. You know what I'm saying? And this society is crazy, but I'm kind of glad that we don't live in a society where, it's kind of like that. People kind of make fun of single people. People kind of like, why are you single, whatever. But there's some cultures, man, where you're not even a woman or you're not even a man unless you're a father. You're not even a real man unless you're a husband. You're not even a real woman unless you're a wife, or you're not even a real woman unless you can bear children. Like, so I'm kind of glad I don't live in that society. I kind of don't like that we don't live in a family oriented society as comparison to like other countries. But I'm also glad that we don't live in a country where whether you get married or whether you do or don't is really not, you're not really bombarded or overwhelmed with that type of thing. So I'm thankful for that. Even though, as you guys know, I love going to different countries, but I'm just saying too, man. And also, man, it's up to married couples, man, to help single people as well, man, because I've seen stuff like married couples only do stuff with married people. And, that puts a certain type of impression, especially if the majority of the congregation or whatever is made up or comprised of family or is comprised of married couples. And you always see couples and married couples and families doing things. You putting the idea in a single person head, that they can't be happy on the level that you're happy. Because coming from a person and like a lot of people think because I'm a man that it's not as hard. You got to think, 95% of my family is in Baltimore. So when I'm looking around, not only do I see family, like there are flesh and blood family members here, like sisters, cousins, aunts, and then of course you have husband, wives, and children. So, not only do I not have flesh and blood family here, but I don't have a companion and children as a family. So when people don't think it's hard for me, it's hard for me, but I don't let it get to me. I don't, because it's like at the end of the day, guess what though? Guess what? I don't know what the married couples and folks go through behind closed doors. Grass look greener on the other side. So my thing is, man, you got to be happy with your status. If you single, be happy with it. Think about all the different things you could do. Think about getting to know yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like people use that singleness in the wrong way a lot of times. People don't focus in on that self. They so bit what they do is they utilize this time looking for somebody instead of looking for ways to improve themselves. You know what I mean? Making themselves a better person, having more to offer if they do ever get married. You know what I mean? Because like I said, man, I grew up around dysfunctional relationships. And so I've seen people who are single that are miserable, and I've seen people that are married miserable. So happiness depends upon you. I feel as though as a single person, I have a privilege, and it was in one of our watchtowers. Matter of fact, the study article that we're doing for this month, if you flip on the back, it said that single people in the congregation are highly valued. A lot of them assist parents and families. Like that's my job. That's my job. I can assist families and help out. Because I don't have to worry about assisting my own family. I can be that additional individual. And I ain't gonna lie, I probably saved some marriages. You know what I mean? Because I was that single brother that, hey, if it got too heated with this individual and his wife, he could step out, come to my house for a while, get his head clear, and then go back. Now, if I was married, and a brother wanted to come over and talk and clear his head before he does something that he shouldn't do, that's going to disappoint, himself, Jehovah, and somebody else, come over here and cool your head, man. And I've probably, but like if I was married, and a person wanted to come over, then I'd be like, look, man, it's late. My wife, man, da-da-da-da-da. And like I said, me being single, I'm open to that type of situation. So, man, if you're single, man, don't bug out. Don't bug out, man. Cause I'm gonna tell you something, man. Like the pain of dealing with like love and relationships and stuff like that, that's a pain that I don't like. And I've been through a lot of stuff. Most of y'all know I've been through a lot of stuff. And I'm telling you, like missing somebody or being hurt, from a romantic situation, I'm telling you, nothing pulls at the heartstrings like dealing with the opposite sex, man. I mean, I've been through a lot of stuff, a lot of betrayal, just different things growing up, but nothing hurt worse than that, boy. And I ain't trying to even go through that. You know what I'm saying? So, But that's what I gotta say for now. Y'all catch this. Much love. And let you know when you did. And I'm gonna say another thing too. This one sister, I went to go say hi to her at the assembly, and she introduced me as, this is Brother McDowell, a single brother in our congregation. I'm like, why'd you even have to say that? You know what I mean? Whatever you do, don't refer to me as single. Just refer to me as Duran. Single or married, those are like statuses on a tax form. I'm just D. Deal with D as D. Don't think, well, I can't do this with him because he's a single brother, or he might not like this because he's single. Yo, just deal with me organically. Don't put that whole my marital status or my relationship status in that whole arena of friendship and what you can do with me and how you can deal with me. Like, don't ever do that. I don't want nobody to ever do that no more. Don't do it. If you do it, we're going to be at odds with one another. Just deal with me as D. When I go home to Baltimore, I ain't the single brother in the congregation. I'm Duran. I'm somebody's son. I'm somebody's brother. I'm somebody's uncle. I'm just D. You know what I mean? And your marital status doesn't define who you are. Just do you. All right, man. Peace and love. Hope y'all enjoy that. If you need some elaboration, it was a lot of stuff I wanted to say, but then when I started talking, I forgot half of it. When I first was thinking about it, I was in a moment. But otherwise than that, peace out. Look, man, if you're married, try your best to be happy in your marriage. And if you're single, be happy, man. Just do you. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, man, ain't nobody really lonely, man. Jehovah got us. You know what I mean? It's God, it's Christ, it's legions and legions and legions of angels. And then another thing, if you're single, man, Jehovah got a huge organization worldwide, man. You got, man, in our congregation alone, you got 3 different English congregations. I mean, widen out. Do what you got to do. It's 50 states, 7 continents. You got brothers and sisters and relatives all in every continent. Man, do you. Because I'm surely going to do me. All right, God bless. Remember, you are not alone, like Michael Jackson said.